Hey y'all, Olivia Hermosa from TikTok. If you like those true crimes and verified stories, make sure you smash that like and subscribe button to Petty Tupac TV.
What up, though? You already know how I go. Make sure you smash like, subscribe, comment. I don't care what you comment, as long as you comment. Petty Tupac coming at you with this video. Look, I don't usually go back and forth and combat too much with people that's strong supporters, vanguards of the movement, vanguards of the podcast, or I'll call it a podcast. I just call it vlogs. But today I got to challenge y'all a little bit. We got to get a little raunchy. We got to have some conversation. And it's cool. Put it in words in the comments if you want to reply back, or come on. Or do you got to go get permission and ask first? You know, you got to make sure the coast is clear. You know, what you got to do. I did the interview with the Vice Lord, Victor Cachet. I want to read some comments that was made on this video, right? And I want to respond to the comments on the video, okay? Now we got Folks for Life 1. He said, much respect to this man 100, but on some real G's and Lords is not the negative stuff. The real ones, we all be on positive stuff like water drives, feeding the homeless, and yes, in Detroit. Much love to all my brothers of the struggle. That's a good comment. But I got a slight issue with what you said. I don't like when people get on here and say a majority of Vice Lords, a majority of Peace Stones, a majority of Black disciples on some positive stuff. Y'all started off strong, positive, but it all became corrupted. Larry Hoover was corrupted. You know the guy in jail for murder, right? And then he tried to catch two more bodies, or did catch two more bodies in a joint with the wiretaps on the ID. Let's not act like this was just so positive throughout history. You look at the violence in Chicago and surrounding neighborhoods, or whatever y'all call them. A majority of y'all are not positive. A majority of y'all in the joint are not positive. A majority of y'all on the street are not positive. Guys I see throwing gang signs are not usually positive. Just because you rob, you steal, you pillage the village for 11 months out the year, or 51 weeks out the year, and then you take a couple the rest of the weeks and buy a bunch of water and send it to Flint. Yeah, you did good, and I'm not minimizing the good, but a majority of you, if you add up the bad compared to the good you do, it's not even equivalent. And then you got to think about it too. If a majority of you guys were good, you will be lawfully sanctioned groups able to organize in the streets and in prison under religion or civic organization. You are not allowed to do that. You consider a terrorist security threat group. So let's not act like a majority of this stuff is super positive. It's an anomaly when you got a group of 70 men that claim a gang or organization, which is a gang organization. It's rare. A majority of it positive. Come on, man. Let's be honest. Shout out to Detroit Fetty Ghost. Shout out to Giddy Mo. Shout out to Capital 3555. That's, bro, you a vanguard, bro. You on every video, man. Big Mob V, Big Lord Talk. He said, dude, whole status is bold, as well as his standards, man. Tighten up. He can't speak on Vice Lord at all. You speaking to a nobody. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Trust me. I am who I say I am. Then Big Sane and Big Sane Gang, Mafia and Sane 6'4", said, please, Petty, on behalf of the mob, please don't invite any lords you know from prison on your podcast. Okay, I misread that. I thought you said don't invite him at all. I misread that. I thought you were tripping. Joe, please and thank you. It's brothers supporting your podcast that are righteous, and when you let guys like this come on here, it's like a slap in the face. Real ones, just a respect thing. 5, we still supporting what you doing. Can you just please leave these guys off here? Okay, I can respect what you said with that one, but still, even if they've been in prison, What's the? I don't understand. Explain to me what's the difference between them being in prison or the little. Oh well, you might be saying okay, the positive ones never been in prison, but the ones that been in prison not positive. With the whole thing though too, I could barely get him to open up and talk about his book. I asked him the name of the book, or did he barely said anything. Like when you're dealing with like real street guys or guys that been in that lifestyle, it's when you talk to him, it's hard to get him to open up. So you got to keep asking questions. So you notice at the back of the end, he was talking a little bit, smiling a little bit more. It's just something in guys that's just I don't know. They don't understand at the time. Like bro, this is this entertainment, this informative. It's not about being super gangster or looking cool or whatever the case may be. And the reason I didn't continue and go on and on like I usually do, opening up slowly but surely, is because I didn't know what the video was going to say. It was my first time using this Skype. Well, not the first time, but it was my first time using this version of Skype. So let's backtrack. First off, he didn't say too much. He had a discrepancy with some guys in the joint, he said, because they was like fiends from the world. But that's true. A lot of the guys from Chicago, the OGs, they be blew out on that stuff. Like, or they was blew out on that stuff in the streets. Then they come back and they know the language and the knowledge because they've been in Chicago, the homeland, and then they come to the joint, think they running. And they get a lot of they do get a lot of respect from the younger guys who don't know much because they're informative. So in the gangs, whoever got the most knowledge, usually the guy that's the most revered. You know what I'm saying? And then if he could add a little viciousness with that, that's they run it. But nevertheless, though, my V, Big Lord, and Big Sang Gang, I don't know whose status is bold, official, or not. I don't know. I could just let them tell their story. And then you got real guys like y'all, come on here. Hey, that's not what it is. I'm not saying he's bold or nothing like that. I don't know. I've been on the yard with him. I know he'll fight. He did start a little stuff. He was a little... Bro was a little on one sometimes, and you know, not on one weird like pause, but yeah, he fight. He organized well. He was intimidating, you know, a bit. He was a figure. Every yard I was on with him, or like when I went to level 5, he left just before me. People talk about him, whether it's good or bad. His name stayed in conversations. You did what I'm talking about, and he was respect. He had the yard where I was there, so it is what it is. And just because you don't see a guy no toy drives and nothing like that, or no water drives, or whatever the case may be, I mean he ain't official. But like I said, y'all might know something I don't know, and I respect that. I respect that, bro. Now we gonna go down to Charles Jordan, the showboat you mentioned. Is that the guy that got murdered? Yes, that was him. R.P. the showboat. Okay, we got John Lewis. Lead the lords out of this internet stuff respectfully. For one, I never seen this dude at 55 day or any Lord days. I ain't gonna lie, I thought 55 was SMB, but they is too, but I guess you told me something different. His status ain't righteous. I don't care what he says or any prison dude says. I'm on count, and this dude ain't on count with me, so I don't know what world he living on, but you ain't vice lord, homie. I don't care about none of that prison stuff. Why don't I see you at any Christmas toy drives, food drives, no goals or nothing? Please stop getting guys on here that say they vice lord, because we don't even do an interview speaking on things like this. He would have demonstrated on thinking on things like this. He would be demonstrated on for this, especially someone with status as he claims. Big no. We don't condone this on behalf of the Almighty El Shabazz. Brother, he didn't say nothing deep. He didn't tell what you was operating with legally, criminally, what was in your treasure chest, who was the heads, who was this, and that. He just said little minor stuff to scratch the surface. And respectfully, if a guy Lord, blood, whatever, and he want to come on, he come on. Ain't nobody gonna tell me don't have vice lords on this and that. Y'all lords, y'all almighty. I respect y'all thing, but if a guy out of pocket, that's on you to nip that in the butt, not me. I'm gonna let him speak over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And if he wrong about it, and you can prove that he wrong about it, or you know, give me you got to compensate, right? If it's a guy I know that you don't want on or to have a voice, reach out. Whoop. Okay, I can give you proper representation since you are on the true crime culture, the prison culture, so on and so forth. You're telling these stories people like to hear. You got to compensate for that. You got to compensate for that. Give me something. It's just meant my job to report on it. It ain't. If you said that this happened, and if 2 people said this happened and 10 people said it didn't, only thing I can do is tell both sides of the story because I wasn't there. No black and white, so on and so forth. This what it is, and let the people decide. But if a majority of people going against the minority, use the majority win. So, but it ain't on me to, because he belonged to a certain gang, I'm not gonna have him on or organization. No, that ain't how that works. And you know what? This probably the most criticized interview, and it ain't even 1,000 views yet. It ain't even cracked 1,000, 2,000. What's interesting about this is, out of all the people that I had on here, Perubi, 82 Baby J, Moorish Americans, Peace Stones, John Way and them, out of all the different groups, gangs, organizations, religions, the only 2 people, and it's the worst one, probably between Al Sengor and 82 Baby J and YL. This is the worst feedback far as people like to interview, but people attack the guy, right? I understand for like certain blood sets out of Detroit to do that. I get that. And I get that why Moorish Americans do it now. But I ain't think the Lords would be like that. I didn't think y'all be that critical of somebody that didn't really say nothing. Moorish Americans too, while they listening, like if I have a Nation of Islam gone, I guarantee you he could talk about prison activities, how he started off in life, criminal activities, prison activities, how he found the nation. See James Washington X interview. He talked about all that, how he put in work, all that, but articulated it so well to end up saying where he at now and gave valid points why it should be prison reform and why he get out. You can say what you want about the Nation of Islam, but them boys don't shy away from no camera, no interview, no phone conversation, and they gonna put on. Whether you agree with them or not, whether you being combative or not, Nation of Islam guys put on. Look at the Moorish Science Temple of America. We really ain't got no internet presence out of like size 2 people, and you really don't know them. People tell me all the time, you probably the only Moorish American I know on the internet doing anything. And they got a bigger podcast than me, and they put money behind theirs. Like on the promotion tip, like they pay for ads and all that type of stuff. There's no way people should know me more than they know them. And they've been doing it way longer, way more videos, way better quality videos. But this is what we get when we live, in these days and times. But nevertheless, though, don't just tell me something. Tap in with me. Speak to me. I don't record conversations. He said this, he said that, cause confusion, none of that. I'll be curious and be wanting to know. Peace and blessings be upon y'all. Big 5.